Well, what? It worked. Yay. Man, I'm glad nobody's got school or anything today. Because that was beginning to be a big pain in the butt. I'm just switching up the cards a little bit today. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Celeste Silver Cord here. As always. Hope y'all are doing alright this morning. Shift it around here. There we go. As always, kind of talk about until I turn on the camera and then total blank mind. Hope y'all had a nice new moon. I actually had a really nice evening. My sister's grandbaby got sick last Friday, and they took her to the doctor, and she had been running a fever. So they did a couple basic tests and a COVID test, right? So they were all the other tests came back negative. Flu and all the other little strep and all that came back negative. So they were waiting for the COVID test to come back in. A couple days ago, my sister tells me she's going to the hospital again with the baby. Or not, no, this time she's going to the hospital with the baby because she has been running a fever since she got the test. And now they are going to, they were taking her to the hospital because she had run a fever. According to my sister, the thermometer hit 105 and she didn't even bother waiting to see how high it was going to go. She gave her some Tylenol and she took her right to the hospital. Right? They get to the hospital. The hospital is actually mad at them for bringing the baby in. Why would you bring a baby who's being tested for COVID into the hospital? 105 fever. They were there all morning. My poor sister was a CNA and is still going through schooling and everything. She's livid. They've done no blood work or nothing on this baby, right? They get the fever down. They still didn't do any blood work or anything else like that. They get the fever down and they send them home. And they say, wait for your COVID test to come back. Well, test came back negative a day or two ago. Right? The test comes back negative. And then, last night, baby spikes a fever again. She's back at the hospital. Get a text message, or yesterday, they got to go back to the hospital because she spikes a fever again. It was late. It was like 8 o'clock at night. 555. And then at like 1 o'clock in the morning, I get a text from my sister saying, I've got to go back. They send her to a children's hospital. They don't know what's wrong with this baby, right? They do blood work. They can't figure it out. They send her to a children's hospital. Oh my God, it's just been nuts back and forth on the phone the last few days. So take the baby to the children's hospital. My sister's thinking she's in there for the stay. So she goes home. She gets a call. And she texts me like 1:30 in the morning. She's got to go back to the hospital, go pick them up. The baby had a urinary tract infection the entire time. Nobody tested for anything other than COVID until that test came back negative. Meanwhile, this child had been running 105 fevers because of a UTI, something so easily freaking taken care of. Oh my God. I was so livid. Probably not nearly as livid as my sister. She's got, people say I've got a hot temper, but when you make a Pisces snap. So anyway, the baby's home. She's fine. She's healthy now. But I thought that might be a fun story to share about bullshit going on in the world today. Got baby spiking fever so high that she's hallucinating and shit. And they won't, no other symptoms. She wasn't coughing, no rash, no anything else. And they wouldn't test for anything other than viruses. Oh my God. And all she needed the whole time was one good dose of antibiotics because it wasn't a virus, it was bacterial. So when you're reading death reports and stuff like that on TV, because had she passed before her test came back, guess what her death would have been ruled as? What is this world coming to? She's one. That was the kind of care a 1-year-old baby received. I mean, it blows my mind. So I hope y'all have been having a good day. Or I should say, I hope y'all have a good day. So glad I finally got this to work over here. Wondering how long it's going to take the 20 or so people on my page to jump over. I may have lost some with the song, but you know what? I really don't care. I'm big on that too. Like, I don't know. Basic instructions. I don't understand why people can't understand basic instructions. But then again, I'm an Aries and I tend to have this problem where people don't understand what I'm saying. A lot of the time. That's how an Aries will get into an argument, and at the end of it, they're like, I was trying to say that. You know, that's what I was saying. Just saying in a different way. I've tried to get better at that. I don't know. I use music as my alarm. It's 6 a.m. here. I didn't have to rush this morning. Our kids only have 4 days of school this week anyway. But Billy's computer won't turn on at all, and neither will my little cuz. Oh no, his computer will turn on, but it won't log on to the internet, and Billy's won't turn on at all. And I've been trying to get it right up to the school to get them fixed. Because you guys are wondering how your Mars retrograde's doing. Mine took my car out again. Someone was supposed to come and look at it yesterday, but they didn't show up. Because you guys think I'm flaky. You have no idea the levels of flake I deal with. And it's to the point where it's massively predictable. But people are like, well, why do you ask then? Why do you do this? Why do you do that? I don't know. Because part of me, I don't know. I guess part of me always wants people to change, and then part of me is always disappointed. And then I end up saying something that hurts somebody's feelings. Alrighty. Let's see what we got this morning. The 7 of Wands, people are feeling a little bit defensive, right? Right now. You got the Ace of Pentacles. Everybody's trying to plant those seeds of new intention, making steps in the earthly realm, and everybody is having a very hard time of this. Everybody is still calculating exactly what they need to do because we are all still sitting still, and everybody is figuring out how to balance everything that's going on. Get the Five of Cups reversed, though. So that's actually, for me, I find that to be a very good thing. This is getting over all the disappointments because a lot of us did lay a lot of plans that didn't work out, and we're all learning how to re-navigate that. So now that we did a whole bunch of plans, and what happened? You went to go do something, and then you realized everybody around you wasn't as supportive as you thought they were, or you... Okay, so I can imagine, like, believe it or not, I guess I don't because everybody says I don't. I feel like I have a relatively calm personality. I just say things that trigger other people, and then whatever volume someone else's voice gets and whatever tones they reach, I just match that frequency. That's that. I don't know. That's my arguing style. What? I'm just gonna mirror you until you go away. I don't know. But a lot of us has realized that we have people around us that, whether they intentionally are or not, they are sabotagers. They might not be doing it on purpose. Usually it's a narcissistic thing. They just can't see past themselves, or they're one of those people who think, I don't know, one of those people that like try to control their whole narratives and things like that. And yeah, you've realized who's genuine, who's not genuine, who's manipulative. That's the word I've been looking for. The manipulative people. And you've learned how to start setting some healthy boundaries so that you can defend yourself from them, so that you can start planting these seeds again with all the calculations that you've made, so that you can make the changes that you want, and you're going to move on from those disappointments. All right. So that was the main energy that's going on right now. Or, well, that's more like, I always do the underlying under here. Oh, no, it's terrible. Whatever. So, yeah. And the main energy going on right now. Seven of Pentacles. And this is what I was talking about. You probably started a whole lot of plans, got disappointed by a bunch of people. Here you go. What, they threw you out to the wolves. What are you going to do now? You're going to start to get inspired. You are going to purposely put yourself in Eight of Swords mode. Now, a lot of people get confused by the fact that I admit that I do this. And I have a lot of friends that admit that they do this. What do? You put, in this deck, that's why I love it in this deck. She's up on the balcony. What? All you heard show her surrounded by swords with a blindfold over her eyes. This is no. What? I'm just going to sit up here on the balcony, watch the party, people watch. Oh, and I don't know about you guys, but I was a major people watcher always. I'm just going to check out what everybody else is doing, right? And then you got the King of Pentacles here. So you're really trying to put your critical mind thinking with this one, and you're really trying to find a way to get more disciplined and controlled with yourself, right? Trying to get a little bit of a routine, get it going a little bit easier. But at the same time, you're trying not to trap yourself too far into something either, right? Trying to find that healthy balance between, control and going with the flow. You don't want to be trapped into anything that you can't get out of, which is understandable. Nobody does. As you see the Knight of Swords, you need to be mindful about your words right now. I've been saying this for a while. Don't be opinionated or too hasty with your words. Take a second to breathe before you react. Everybody has a very light trigger point right now. Like I said, guys are out to mind. The founding fathers and stuff like that were very much, Benjamin Franklin, very much into astrology and things like that. They planned all these cycles to happen around certain times for certain reasons to amp it up. All right. So be mindful. Yeah. And watch out for those people with claws. If you got somebody who's constantly scratching you, just give them a space during this time. You know, everybody's worried about this right now, guys. And that's kind of why we're running into things like coin shortages and everything else. This is actually kind of becoming a collective, you know. But yeah, there's been a lot of programming over the last few months that is causing this to start happening. You know, and it will get better. Try not to focus on that. What you should be focusing on is building your own strength and keeping your eye open for those messages on new ways of possibly making extra income, right? Just be careful, because I see a lot of it being Seven of Cups. Don't be reaching for every single cup, all right? Because what'll happen is you'll grab in so much stuff that it'll be impossible to keep track of it all, okay? And that's where you run into trouble. That's where it's like your credit cards, right? You always have that one card that, like, I always use a prepaid card for like online stuff, like the apps or whatever for my kids' games. And I do that because a lot of times, like, you'll try to cancel a subscription or something like that, or you won't realize the kids have done something, and then you'll have an extra charge on your stuff, and you don't realize it because you're not paying attention to all your accounts, which is why I do that on a separate thing. But a lot of people end up with a lot of bogus things on their accounts because they were clicking on everything and opening up all these things and setting up all these different types of accounts and blah, 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 blah. You don't need to drink from every single cup. Take your time. Figure out what exactly is in the cup before you just snatch it and start drinking out of it, all right? Sacrifice. Sacrifices have needed to have been made. They have been made. A lot of us have been making a lot of sacrifices, man. I mean, the biggest sacrifice for a lot of us is going to be ego deaths, things of that nature, you know, sacrificing certain relationships, realizing that they're not bringing you anything, sacrificing certain connections because they don't even realize how much they sabotage you. Try to sacrifice like old pain too. Try to let go of that. I know, and that was a hard one actually. That just hit me. I was called a perpetual victim the other day. I asked for help for dishes, and it turned into a fight. Watch out for people like that. Like, sacrifice people like that. Anybody who constantly expects a lot from you, and anytime you ask them for help, they snap at you. I was explaining that to Rob. It wasn't Rob, by the way, but I was explaining to him what the psychological abuse that is. And I used to say, well, I notice a lot of, what is it? Just watch out for people that anytime you ask them for help, they snap at you, right? Because that is, I don't know if it's a narcissistic trait, but it definitely is a psychological abuse trait. You ask for help, no, cause a fight. Ask for help, cause a fight. Ask for help, cause a fight. I'm not saying that they're literally hitting you, but they snap at you. They cause an argument. They trigger you. They get you angry and upset, and then they make you look like you're the asshole. And now, maybe I am the asshole, or maybe people just really like to fuck with me because I have a short fuse. Because what happens every single time is I'll ask for help and then they get snapped at. It becomes an argument. I go, fuck it, I'll just do it myself. And then it turns, or they'll guilt trip you at that point. I was going to do it. I just do it. Get rid of that kind of shit, man. I hate that. And then they go, I help you all the time. No, that's not helpful. That's not helpful. Helpful is just helping without bitching about it. You hear me? For everybody who's watching who does that, anybody who you ask them for help and they do it, but they bitch the entire time, is psychologically trying to program you to stop asking them for help. It is a tactic small children use, but a lot of people carry that shit into adulthood. It causes a lot of problems, all right? So just watch out for those people. Those are the kind of people you should be sacrificing, all right? You get too much going on here. I mean, just with the strength in the page, you want to keep that energy flowing. Rainbow blessings are coming. This has been a big storm. All these retrogrades. Damn it. All these retrogrades and everything. And I say this every time, retrogrades are time for learning lessons, and they only highlight problems if there's problems to be highlighted. Now, in the world, there's a lot to be highlighted right now. The storm is passing. All right? But there would never be rainbows without any rain. So just allow that to flow for you. You are a dragonfly. You bring light to the world. Love how that one keeps coming up lately. The labyrinth. Transition to a higher level of being, raising your energetic vibration and enlightenment. All right? I always say, instead of falling into too much of these crazy wormholes, maybe you should be looking into, how to actually maintain and raise your vibration without taking it to someplace into a fear-based area. And keep it light out there, guys. I don't know. Maybe that's the Aries in me. I'm just like, I don't understand why it just can't be fun. That's what I love so much about Rob. No matter how dramatic it gets, he can let it go in like 10 minutes. The Philosopher's Stone, powerful manifestation of wishes and goals by harnessing universal energy. You do have the power to transmute your energy if you can just focus it into the areas that you need to focus it in. How many inspirational stories are you going to watch before you decide to be your own? All right, that's all the time I have for you guys today. As always, like, share, subscribe, spank my bell, tell me that you like it. Blessed be all those who walk these paths with me. I love you guys, and I'll catch you, if not tomorrow morning, then by Monday. Love you. Bye.